If you are wondering which has been the most controversial actress of the 50s and 60s, it is definitely Anne Francis. The actress used to get into numerous relationships and then break up for the weirdest reasons. Watch until the end to find out what happened to Anne that made her never get married again. Anne was talented since she was a child. Anne was born on the 16th of September 1930 in Ossining, New York. She entered the entertainment industry quite young, and by the age of 7, she was already modeling and appearing on the radio. Anne Francis became one of the first child stars who has ever had their own television show. The young, talented entertainer then decided to appear on Broadway, where she played in Lady in the Dark and portrayed as a 12-year-old girl. Just 4 years later, she was noticed by MGM and got offered a contract. To appear in the film Summer Holiday, she moved to California. However, the actress didn't really like living there and would soon move back to New York after the movie ended filming, and then decided to have a break from acting in movies until she decided if this was the thing she wanted to do in life. Not much time passed until she auditioned to be cast as one of the actresses that worked for producer Harry Danziger. Later, Anne was offered a role in Snows of Kilimanjaro, but was later replaced by Ava Gardner. It was reported that the character in the film was originally made for Ava, but during that time, Ava was on suspension for turning down a picture at Metro. That is why the production team couldn't borrow her while she was in such a situation. Anne was then announced for the role, but as soon as the movie started filming, Ava Gardner's suspension was lifted, making her eligible to work as an actress in Snows of Kilimanjaro. The studio snagged her quickly and immediately kicked Anne out of the movie. The actress was devastated and left Hollywood for a second time to stay with her parents back in New York. She almost lost her chance at becoming a successful actress. Even though her luck flourishing as an actress wasn't going very well, it would only get worse when Anne almost lost her first starring role when she injured herself after falling from riding a horse. She had yet another similar incident at a parade commemorating the screening of Lydia Bailey. The film had massive success, and the actress finally made a name for herself in the film industry. However, things started to get pretty intense for her when the events and places she had to attend kept piling up. The actress had enough and unexplainably collapsed while she was in the airport right before takeoff time. She was immediately sent to the hospital, where she would spend a whole week there just to relax from the stressful week she had just spent in Haiti. Her schedule was so tight, the actress had to attend a total of 6 parties in just a very short time. She later explained that this was the main reason why she had collapsed at the LaGuardia airport. Anne's first love. On the 17th of May 1952, Anne got married to the Harvard military chapel called Bamlett Lawrence Price. The military chapel was a World War II Army Air Force pilot who by that time was studying for a master's degree at the University of California, located in Los Angeles. 1 year later, both Anne and her husband suffered 2 different injuries. The actress broke her foot when she was giving an award presentation, while her husband suffered a severe back injury a couple of months later when he had a car accident in the Sierra Nevada mountains. If that wasn't enough, the actress went through a very tragic event when she received the news that her husband was losing his life when he was diagnosed with pneumonia. The illness affected his lungs and heart muscles, and doctors wouldn't be sure if Price would make it through. Anne later claimed that the tragic situation ended for 3 days, but those 3 days were some of the most horrible days of her life. However, her husband miraculously survived and went on to become a producer of a feature film called A One-Way Ticket. Apart from acting, Anne also got involved in another project. In 1954, she collaborated with Aldo Ray, and both of them became campaign leaders for the purpose to raise money so they could build a chapel in memory of famous Australian priest Bob Maguire, who is also the person who cited the popular phrase, "Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition." Anne unexpectedly divorced Price and went on a dating spree. The actress would make headlines exactly 1 year later after she filed for divorce from Price in Santa Monica, California. She even charged him with mental cruelty. People were wondering how the situation between them could drastically change within a year. The split became a genuine puzzler, as she was Price's primary caretaker for months on end when he was suffering from pneumonia, and now Anne acted as if she had no feelings for Price. Anne would later talk about the divorce, stating that Price didn't think of her career as worthy and thought that she had a pretty easy life, when in reality, Anne was not only spending 12 hours a day at the studio working as hard as she could, but was also trying to spend as much time with Price so that he wouldn't feel alone. But according to Anne, no matter what she would do, Price would not motivate or support her in any aspect. After the divorce, Anne started celebrating her single status by going on to date actor John Lupton. From that point on, Anne went on to date many other celebrities such as Bill Holmes, Liam Sullivan, and Brad Dexter. She ended up suing her second husband and winning the case. She later started taking things seriously with director Herman Hoffman, who was twice as older as she was at the time. The couple later went on to produce a total of 3 films together, with the third being The Mystery of Misty Creek, which was one of their best films based on an offbeat western. In 1957, Anne was amongst the many famous actresses part of the Reno, Nevada rodeo. Other celebrities that were a part of this include Rod Cameron, Glenn Ford, and Russell Rouse, which all received a Silver Spurs Award, which was considered as the Oscar of the Westerns. Later, Anne broke up with Herman Hoffman, and in 1960, she married her second husband, Dr. Robert Abeloff. The couple didn't even last a year before they decided to get divorced. When Anne started talking about the reason why she had divorced Robert, she claimed that he was one of the most impossible men to please, and even went on to sue him for extreme cruelty. After the long trial she had with her ex-husband Robert, Anne finally won the divorce from the Los Angeles Superior Court. 4 years later, the actress decided to open her own company to produce rodeo, and even went on to adopt a 7-month-old child she named Margaret West. This was a very rare case seen in California at the time, as Anne was one of the very few people allowed to adopt a child while being unmarried. She continued to raise her daughter alone in Brentwood, California in a 1-story house. During this time, Anne didn't appear on any major projects, and in 2002, she decided to move from Brentwood to Palm Desert, California. As she grew older, Anne was unable to care for herself, so she later entered a retirement home in Santa Barbara. The actress later passed away on the 2nd of January 2011 from pancreatic cancer. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We have plenty of more videos like this to get uploaded soon. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.